You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Excited to get started and be here with you today on our Total Wellness Tuesday show, where each and every Tuesday I'm bringing you a wellness-based topic. Today is no different. We are looking to supercharge the immune system today. So we're trying to ramp up your body's own natural defenses against viruses. And specifically today, we're going to be talking about Epstein-Barr virus, herpes virus, shingles, cold sores, basically all the herpes viruses out there as well. But this also applies actually to HIV. So all viruses work on a specific modality. We're going to go through that today. We're going to talk about its replication process and how we're going to be able to fight back. So here's the deal. Viruses can enter the body, usually being exposed to some type of bodily fluid, fecal matter, or they can even be airborne. But essentially, you're around someone, they're coughing, that mucus gets up into the ear, you're breathing it in, coming through nasal passages, or you're touching something like a doorknob that contains the viruses. They're not going to last forever, but they will when it's contagious. So here's the issue, though. You are obviously not purposely exposing yourself to these type of pathogens that can get into your body. Now, the issue is once they get inside your body, they're looking for a host to live, meaning like they need you to actually live. And so what they're looking to do is actually burrow in deep. They're looking to get into your cells and they're looking to get into your bacteria. A little bit different. They're looking to get into like the DNA of the cell or the cell itself. And they're also looking to get into bacteria in your body, whether it's gut-based or other areas. And that bacteria, those are actually called bacteriophages. And those are being studied more and more so that we're looking at, we used to think, well, okay, all these viruses, they're replicating, they're living inside the cells. But now we're finding they're actually living inside bacteria as well. And why is that important? Well, with 100 trillion bacteria in your gut, there's a lot of space for them to hide, which is why we're going to be talking about the gut health in a moment as well. All right, so all in all, we have viruses entering the body. Then they're going into hiding, essentially, and then they're looking for the opportunity to replicate. It makes killing them very difficult and eradicating them permanently very difficult. However, knowing what we know now, we are able to go after them. And here's why we want to. One of the reasons why we can't just let viruses hang out in the body, and we can't let exposure, meaning like we can't let shingles and herpes virus, cold sore, Epstein-Barr virus, mono, all these different viruses continue to just run rampant and replicate over and over. And the reason is we know that although we're not doing this on purpose, those viruses down the road can lead to cardiovascular issues, brain-based issues such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. It can lead to autoimmune issues like multiple sclerosis, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. It can lead to inflammatory-based issues, some of those being scleroderma, autoimmune in general, as I spoke about before, obesity, and most anti-inflammatory-based issues as well, which can affect, of course, the pulmonary system, the joints, you name it. And the last thing is that we know, and we've seen this, and the correlation is there, that viruses can also lead to cancer down the road. So there's no doubt about it that we need to boost the immune system and that we need to literally eradicate herpes virus, which many, many people are carrying inside their body from some type or another, whether it's chickenpox or cold sores or EBV, mono, you name it. But a virus is a virus. So what we're looking to do is actually literally unravel it. And I want to show you that right now. For most of us, though, even if we're not living with those symptoms of disease that I just named right now, what are some other symptoms that you may be feeling? Well, a lot of people are feeling simply run down. They're feeling tired, brain fog, low mood. And one of the reasons for all this is that your body, your immune system is literally trying to wrestle with these viruses every single day. Now, they may go dormant, but under stress, which again, we're going to be talking deep about today, they're going to show themselves. That's when they're going to replicate. You give the environment, remember, it's all about the environment. If you allow for that environment where they can flourish, they will come about. Your immune system will then naturally try to go on overdrive through humoral and cell-mediated based immune systems, and that's going to exhaust you. It really does. There's a big reason why. Think about it. When you get the flu, you get a cold, a lot of times like you just don't have any energy, like your legs feel weaker, you can't really push the same amount of weight when working out. Well, think about that. If you always have those viruses running through your body, that weakens your body. And again, I went through this myself. I had Epstein-Barr virus when I was 17 years old, and that was essentially the trigger, which led to many, many other health-based complications. Okay, so now that we know how we can be exposed to a virus, how they enter into the body, why it's difficult to remove them, what it can lead to in the future, I just want to say, as always with natural medicine, everything has an underlying root cause and everything is fixable. It really is. You can reverse the process. And in this case, what we need to do is use a 4-step system, all right? We need to use a 4-step system, which is not crazy to do, meaning like this is not going to take a ton of work for you. But if you're someone that's struggling right now, or if you have relapses and you have immune-based issues, here's what I want you to look into. 4 parts of this. We need to boost the immunity. We need to stop the virus from replicating, okay, so that it does not continue to flourish within the body. We need to then kill the virus itself, and then we need to recover from the damage. And that last part might be a little confusing for people. And that's because, and I work with a lot of people in my practice, okay? They come in with Lyme disease, and they still believe they have Lyme disease, okay? But the truth is they don't. They no longer have Lyme. What they have is all of the damage caused by Lyme disease. They have the mitochondrial damage, okay? One of the big reasons for this is that when you take the high-dose strong antibiotics to kill Lyme, you are also damaging the mitochondria inside your cells. Those mitochondria are responsible for producing energy, ATP, in the body. And if you're not able to produce ATP, well, you're not going to have energy in general for detoxification, for exercise, for movement, for thinking, for you name it, because your body needs ATP. Not only does it need it for energy, it needs it for detoxification. So really, really important. So that's something important to keep in mind, is that we're also going to talk about recovering after we eliminate these viruses from the body. All right. So here's a lot of my learning, meaning like I've been learning this over the past 20 years. I've really had a set program for essentially the last 7 years that I've been using in my private practice, and it's always developing. So I've used Ayurvedic, I've used orthomolecular, I've used functional medicine-based products for many, many years. It's a very complicated system. My job here today is not to get too technical with you, but give you exactly how to implement this. And now, there's a lot of people listening right now, and they do want me to get maybe a little bit more in depth, maybe a little bit more scientific. And I think that I will in the future start doing more deeper scientific-based, specifically like on the pathophysiology of disease. But for the most part, people tuning in right now, they want to learn how to boost their immune system. If you're a practitioner, you want to know how to implement this plan. There's also an excellent book on this. This is definitely not your first read on viruses, but I mentioned it before. It's called Antiviral Strategies and Immune Nutrition by Dr. Alex Vasquez. It's actually just kind of slides, I believe, from a presentation that he did. It's not an easy read. Like if you have not taken an immunology course before, you might not want to be your first book that you pick up, but it is pretty good. It's excellent. And a lot of what I've kind of pulled together over the years from many, many different sources is pretty much all in this one book. And there's over, I believe, 60 or 70 different cited studies. So pretty amazing. And again, I'm just going to literally, instead of necessarily teaching you how to fish, I guess I'm going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do to overcome these viruses. So let's get right into it. All right, the first thing we have to do is understand that besides the cells, besides the DNA, we actually have to look at the bacteria in our body. So one of the main things that I always ask is, can we do a hair tissue mineral analysis to look at heavy metals, which will exacerbate inflammation and also allow for the biofilms that can be used by these viruses? The second is this, is that we run an organic acids test. And the organic acids test is to look at candida overgrowth and bacterial overgrowth, namely Clostridium difficile. So that's a great lab to run. And then the third one would be a stool test. Do you have E. coli overgrowth? Do you have H. pylori? Do you have Klebsiella? Do you have any of these parasites or other things that also could be hindering your immune system? Because remember, if your immune system is always fighting candida or SIBO or parasites or H. pylori or E. coli overgrowth, any of these things, what happens is it gets weakened overall. When your body's weakened, when your immune system's weakened, when you can't produce enough of what's called CD4 cells, you're not able to fight off a lot of these viruses. So my thing is always, okay, if there's a gut issue, we have to fix it first, because we also need you to be able to absorb all of these great nutrients we're going to put in your body to boost your immune system in the first place. So obviously that makes sense. If you're able to, run the organic acids test, run the stool test. If there's a little bit money left over that you're able to do it, run the hair tissue mineral analysis. That would be great. Okay, the other thing we have to do right away is we have to realize we're going to talk dietary perspective right now, is that and lifestyle overall, all right? Then we'll get into the nutritional supplements. So the big thing is that we have to understand that increasing your blood sugar, all right, big blood sugar-based spikes, whether it's through alcohol and then alcohol leaves you with a subsequent low blood sugar the next morning, but with a lot of sugar, processed food intake. Okay, we're not talking about berries, we're not talking about vegetables, we're not talking about sweet potatoes, but what we're talking about are higher glycemic process-based foods. Those types of things will weaken the immune system. That's been shown. It weakens the immune system in children, it weakens the immune system in adults. When that happens, it allows for viral-based replication. So we do have to go easy. Keep that cheat meal to once a week and eat the cookies that you like and all those different types of things, but keep it to once a week, okay? And then also, we need to really look at our methylation-based issues. If you're suffering from mass inflammation, those types of things, methylation issues are a lot easier to correct than a lot of people really think about. I'll be going deep into methylation and some genetic-based work in the future. Suffice to say, though, if you're taking one activated B complex in the morning, that can be a great product for you to work with your folate, your methyl B12, your B6, all the other cofactors such as betaine, choline, trimethylglycine. All of those are going to help with methylation-based defects, okay? That will help control also inflammation and detoxification in general. We need that as we're eradicating viruses. Okay, next step is this. This is so important. The number of people that I work with that get a cold sore outbreak under stress, meaning stress is their trigger, is remarkable. Okay, so that's how we know they're getting better, is that they're still stressed, but they don't get cold sores anymore. That's our goal, and I can show you exactly how we do that in a moment. So here's the interesting thing, is that we can control stress. We really can. We cannot control, and I talk about this all the time on Mindset and Motivation Mondays, we cannot control other people. We cannot control other events in our life a lot of the time if they don't have to do with us specifically. But what we can control gradually over time is our response to those events. So we have to learn to do things like meditation, stretching, hatha yoga, anything that gets us out of that, what we call monkey mind, out of that rat race, out of that anxiety, irritability, overwhelm-based state to breathing, to really going back to our breath, calming our body so that we don't get overly stressed when we're in a situation that normally, yes, most people would be stressed out about. Really, really important. I cannot stress that enough, is starting to work into some type of spiritual or meditation-based practice. It could be hatha yoga. You can go into a sauna. You can do whatever you want. Like all of those things are great just to be able to calm the body. Okay, I did say sauna. Sauna, as long as it's not too aggravating to the body, can be absolutely fantastic for literally killing viruses, meaning the hotter the temperature, the more the internal fever we create inside of our own body, which means we kill viruses. So you can use a regular Finnish sauna, which is 180 degrees or so, or you can use an infrared sauna. If you use an infrared sauna, you'll simply stay in longer, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or more. And a regular sauna, dry sauna, you'd stay in there maybe 10 minutes to 20 minutes or so, or longer if you can tolerate it. All right. Now, along with that, we have to use exercise, meaning, okay, so mild to moderate exercise has been shown to boost the immune system. Then there's what's called the J curve. So the J curve means that with overexertion, we no longer get the benefits and it actually hurts our body and it allows for the weakening of the immune system. So think about that for a moment. If we produce extra cortisol, if we produce extra stress hormones in the body, we actually weaken our immune system, especially something called secretory IgA. This is well studied. So a little exercise to moderate exercise, fantastic. To absolute failure, crushing your body, boot camp style, well, that's going to lead to a shortening of telomeres, which oftentimes correlates with a rapid aging, and certainly a weakened immune system. Not something we want. Okay, the next thing is this. Taking a multivitamin. I know that this sounds crazy. We're going to start to get into supplements right now. But taking a multivitamin, this was the research, this is the study, this is all on PubMed and JAMA as well, okay? So when we look at taking a multivitamin, why would this work? Well, it's going to contain a lot of the supplements that are going to help balance the immune system. So I'm going to talk about those in one moment. But taking a multivitamin only actually caused a reduction, so 2.4 times less cases of a cold sore in 6 months. That is remarkable for anybody dealing with cold sores. Let's say you get a cold sore once per month or so. You're going to dramatically reduce that in that period of time just by taking a multivitamin. And here's why. Here are the vitamins and here are the supplements. And then I'm going to give you a real world example of this that help to boost your immune system and eradicate and destroy viruses. Okay, so they do two things. So one, they're going to actually go after the virus. So botanicals like herbs and certain minerals are going to help to destroy the virus. Then there are other things that we're going to talk about. They're going to help with eradicating or stopping the replication, such as licorice root. Okay, so let's get into that right now. Let's say there are 1,000 different vitamins, minerals, herbs that you can use. There's obviously much more. I'm going to give you about a dozen right now that we know clinically proven, meaning like real science, hard science, shown to destroy viruses. All right, vitamin D needs to be optimized. How do you find your vitamin D? You take a vitamin D test. We'll link this up in the show notes, but obviously you're welcome to get a vitamin D test wherever you would like. Your levels can't just be between 30 and 100. They have to be between 50 and 70, or maybe 50 to 80 as you're trying to boost your immune system, okay? Really important to look at. That's 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. Now, zinc. What do we need? Zinc helps boost the immune system and destroy viruses. Very, very powerful. L-lysine as well. Specific amino acid used to stop the replication, kill viruses as well. Vitamin C. High-dose vitamin C. This is kind of I don't know if it's quite a supplement, but it's a food supplement at least, and that's apple cider vinegar. Bragg's apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar, what's called the mother at the bottom. It's that nasty looking stuff that floats around the bottom, all right? You need that in there. All right, licorice root, I spoke about that. Colloidal silver, all right? Nanoparticle colloidal silver, must be nanoparticle. Citricidal drops, or what's also called grapefruit seed extract. A lot of great research on that as well. One of the most powerful natural antifungals or antibacterials around. We use that with C. diff or any type of E. coli with extra bacterial overgrowth in the gut. All right, selenium, N-acetylcysteine to help produce higher levels of glutathione and detoxification. Omega-3s, one of the ways that viruses replicate through inflammation, weakening the immune system, is higher levels of what's called arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid would come from processed foods, grain-fed meats, oxidized nuts, nut butters, those types of things. All right, so omega-3 is going to help counterbalance that. Alpha-lipoic acid, not alpha-linoleic acid, but alpha-lipoic acid, all right? A very powerful antioxidant that also helps boost the immune system, kill viruses. Greens powder, all right? Greens powder, ours is the daily fruit and vegetable blend, 22 organic fruits and vegetables. Why do greens powders work? Because of what's called phytonutrients. The phytonutrients in them actually help to squelch free radicals. Again, this is about balancing the body, balancing the immune system. All right, as we get into also how do we repair the damage, L-glutamine. L-glutamine is one of the best ways to help to repair the damage, rebuild tissues, really amazing as well for detoxification. Melatonin, and a lot of people don't know this. This is also a powerful antioxidant in and of itself and helps us to get into a deeper sleep for rejuvenation. The next one, and what I use in my practice, is called biofilm disruptors or proteolytic enzymes. It's a product we call Florafilm. I'll link up every single one of these in the show notes today. So like literally every single product you're hearing right now, you don't have to memorize it. I'll write the notes in today's show. I don't always go note by note, but I think today's show is actually pretty important to give people the how-to, and then you can decide how you want to get in all of these products. But also, again, I'll make it simpler so you don't have to use every single one of these. The proteolytic enzymes called Florafilm, they help to remove the biofilm in the gut. They help to pull out a lot of those heavy metals as well that used actually for the biofilm, create a biofilm in our gut. But also, when taken away from meals, they can go into the body and actually break down the virus itself, break down the outer layer of the virus itself, kill the virus. Okay. Multivitamin, we spoke about that. You can use something like the Daily Nutritional Support Powder or an activated multivitamin. Just make sure your multivitamin has methylated products, all right? No folic acid, only nature folate or methylfolate, 5-methylfolate only. No cyanocobalamin for B12. It has to be methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin. All right, what's up next? Probiotics, okay? They've shown that lactobacilli, all right? Lactobacillus acidophilus, as well as other probiotics, help with modulating inflammation as well as the immune system. And then there are medicinal mushrooms. I'm not going to get too deep on medicinal mushrooms today. However, reishi mushrooms in particular, helping with the HPV virus, and maitake mushrooms in there as well with viruses in general. Reishi mushrooms also help to modulate the immune system. That means help with modulating Th1, Th2 immune cells and helper cells, and that works incredibly well for things like allergies and asthma and highly sensitive individuals as well. So now, really, that was a lot, right? So now, how do I replicate this in the real world? Because no one's going to take all of these things. And if they did, they could, but there's a simpler way to do this. So here's what I recommend. All right. For daily maintenance, so daily, everyday plan, all right, this is what you want to do to either keep those viruses from replicating, keep them in dormant, or just keep them from coming back or killing them in general, okay? So it's hard to tell if we've ever just totally destroyed them or if they're just dormant. I'm perfectly happy with keeping them dormant or maybe eradicated. But again, that's really difficult to test for when they're not active for the rest of my life. Like totally fine with that. As long as I don't see them, I'm good, and that allows them, that means they're not expressing themselves. So I have less risk. So does everyone else for all of those different cardiovascular, autoimmune, and brain-based issues that I spoke about before. All right. So here's the deal. We want to use something like the activated multi or the daily nutritional product, a daily nutritional support shake every single day, along with the greens powder. Ours is the daily fruit and vegetable blend, and then a probiotic. That essentially is what's called my Dr. Cabral daily protocol. It doesn't just help with viruses, the immune system. It helps with everything. Why? Because you're getting all the minerals you need. You're getting all the vitamins you need. You're getting all the antioxidants you need from the greens powder. You're making a smoothie typically with it as well. And then you're getting 50 billion live probiotics that's dairy-free. So really impressive way to start the day. That's how I start my day every day. And certainly you don't have to use my products, but what I'm going to do is link to it. So you'll see what's in my products. And then if you feel like you can find a comparable one, then no problem at all. But it's my job to teach. And then it's your job to figure out what works best for you in your life and for your family. All right, the next is an omega-3 supplement. All right, so an omega-3 supplement most of us need. How do you know if you need it? Well, the true way to test is to simply run the omega-3 test. That's really, really important. I recommend everyone over the age of 35 run that test to optimize your levels. It's really an important test, and it lets you look at your overall inflammation. The higher the inflammation, the lower the omega-3, the worse off all of your symptoms are going to be. Bottom line, the more inflammation in your body, the worse you're going to feel, more tissue damage and destruction can happen. That's just the truth. Okay. Now, the next part to that is using potentially a zinc copper-based supplement or just a straight zinc supplement at 15 milligrams a day at night, one capsule with dinner. Or you can use a product that I like as well, which is by Onnit, and it's called Virutech. All right. I'll link that up in the show notes as well. So the zinc we typically use, well, we like zinc. We like zinc from Thorne. We like it from Pure Encapsulations. Well, there's so many great companies, right? We'll link that up in today's show notes as well. And okay, next up is I would use full spectrum vitamin C. I would use 1 cap at dinner and 1 cap at breakfast every single day. And that's going to give you 1 gram of food-based as well as orthomolecular-based vitamin C every day. Pretty impressive. 1 gram a day just to keep that immune system optimized. And then also vitamin D3. All right. So vitamin D3, how much do you need? Well, you simply do a blood test and then you maintain that 50 to 70 nanograms per milliliter is exactly what you need to do. These are products that I use every single day in my life. So myself, every single day in my life, I use these. I do use others, so there's no doubt about that. I use others. I'm always experimenting. I'm always trying things for my body. I use some anti-aging based supplements that help me produce larger amounts of ATP. I'll be talking about that in the future. Those are a little bit more expensive. What I just spoke about here, you can get all of that for maybe like $6 or $7 total a day. Now, $6 or $7 a day, maybe it seems like a lot, maybe it seems like a little. For me, the trade-off for $6 or $7 a day, well worth it. Meaning like I have all the energy I want, my immune system's good, I feel good. That's just the bottom line. I look at it as a small trade-off for myself, but everybody has to, they have to do their own math, they have to do their own thing. A lot of people have said to me, okay, well, I just didn't go for the Starbucks coffee for $5 every morning or the whatever. I mean, people can justify and rationalize things any way they want. I'm just giving you a great daily maintenance plan once you've eradicated the viruses. Now, what do you do to ramp things up? Here's what we want to do, right? So there's so many things I just spoke about above, but here's what we want to do. If you get a shingles outbreak or a cold sore outbreak or any type of herpes-based or virus-based outbreak, meaning like mono, EBV, you name it. All right, here's the deal. We want to use 3 ounces of fire cider, basically a shot of fire cider 3 times or more per day. Now, you can make something that's pretty much equally as good by doing 2 ounces of Bragg's apple cider vinegar with a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and mix that around with about 4 to 6 ounces of water. And you'll put 3 drops. So you'll put 3 drops, whether you use fire cider on this own homemade one, with GSE citricidal drops. And you're going to do this for about a week or 2 weeks, okay? So that's going to give you a really nice boost to the immune system. It's a vasodilator, and it's a very, very potent immune modulator, as well as adding a little bit of alkalinity to the body. What does that mean? Well, for most people, they have a little trouble grasping how that happens. Well, just because of the minerals in the apple cider vinegar is one way in which it works. The other way is the GSE drops, the citricidal drops, are a very potent antifungal, antibacterial, and now antiviral based product. Okay. Along with that, we're going to do 1,000 milligrams or 1 gram of lysine and 1 gram of vitamin C taken as capsules or powder 3 times per day. Okay. That's with meals or without meals. Totally your choice. All right. Really, really important. 3 basically grams of lysine a day, 3 grams minimum of vitamin C per day. All right, that's a supplement protocol while you have a virus going on. The next part is this. You can do optional add-ons, and I like them, so it's totally up to you. Optional add-ons would be this. 30 milligrams of zinc at dinner, just 1 capsule, that's it. If you bought the 15 milligrams, using those daily, take 2. That's it. Very, very simple, very straightforward. The other thing that I would look into is colloidal silver. Just for about a week or 2, you can take 2 teaspoons of colloidal silver 3 times a day. Certainly not needed, but there's enough anecdotal as well as clinical-based benefit of using nanoparticle colloidal silver. Totally your choice, but you are welcome to do that. Now, the next one is Natural Calm. Natural Calm, or magnesium in general, we use 3 capsules of full-spectrum magnesium at breakfast and then 3 capsules with dinner, but you're also welcome to do the Natural Calm powder twice a day at 2 teaspoons. That will help with nervous system-based pain because you know when you get herpes, you oftentimes have that inflamed nervous system, which is very, very painful. So, of course, we don't want you to live with that. Now, for those people who have a shingles outbreak or they have a cold sore, here's what we want to look at. Using a Q-tip or cotton ball to actually apply the apple cider vinegar and cayenne pepper mixture that you made in the morning, all right? You can even add a little GSE to that as well. The other thing that I recommend adding to that mixture is L-lysine. You can either use L-lysine gel or an L-lysine stick. Essentially, you can add the ACV, the cayenne pepper, the GSE, and the L-lysine all together, make it into a paste, and apply it to the shingles or apply it to the cold sore. All of those work. It works on warts as well, so just keep that in mind. That is very, very powerful. A lot of times, here's what I recommend. Apple cider vinegar. If you don't have the cayenne pepper, fine. A little bit of GSE, apply it directly to the shingles or cold sore. Allow it to dry. After that, apply the L-lysine stick or gel and put it right on your lip or shingles, and then that's it. Now, there's one other thing here that I have to bring to your attention, and that's because there's so much anecdotal evidence that it works. I would be remiss for people that are suffering right now if I didn't mention it, okay? It's called acetone. I'm not saying that it's a healthy product to use. It's actually a solvent. It's the main ingredient in nail polish remover. Here's the deal, though. A lot of people use acetone, obviously, for only a day or 2 days or 3 days, and they apply it to a cold sore. Not for shingles, but for a cold sore. And for them, it's like a miracle. They get rid of the cold sore in a day or less. Sometimes 2 days maximum is what it takes. I can't recommend that, but also at the same time, if it's there and I know that it's working and I didn't bring it to you, ethically, morally, I would feel like I didn't do my job. It's always your decision. It's not my decision. My decision is to bring you the best of the best of what I would do in my practice and what I see work. And then it's your decision to do whatever you feel is best for your body after maybe looking into a little bit of research yourself. So that's it. That's the entire plan. What I'm going to do is copy and paste all of this into the show notes page to make sure that you do get all of this information. And then just keep in mind, what are some of the things I didn't mention as supplements? Selenium, alpha-lipoic acid, glutamine. Keep in mind, by doing the daily nutritional support shake, you're going to get the selenium, you're going to get chromium for blood sugar, you're going to get glutamine, you're going to get N-acetylcysteine, you're going to get all of those things. So that's why I try to make things easy for people. Using the daily nutritional support shake, the daily fruit and vegetable blend, the probiotic, that's just called the Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol, your choice for the omega-3, your choice for the zinc or copper-based product, your choice in the full-spectrum magnesium, the D3. That really, what I did right there was take everything, like literally almost everything, except what? Licorice root, the enzymes, okay, which you can take or not, that's up to you, and that would be part of your CBO, your Candida bacterial overgrowth protocol if you did that, and the Reishi mushrooms. But everything else is covered just through that daily protocol that you're going to be using while there's an outbreak where you're using the ACV, the cayenne pepper, the GSE drops, the L-lysine, and then the topical application as well. So hopefully that was helpful. I know today was a deep dive. It was maybe a little bit more technical than I usually talk about, but this is something that can then live on, meaning like I can give this recommendation now anytime someone asks a question about herpes, shingles, cold sores, EBV, HIV, you name it, because right now we know it works. I mean, again, I've read, I can't even tell you how many books on antivirals and the immune system and immunology textbooks and all that. But, just again, that book by Dr. Alex Vasquez, if you're a health practitioner, you can also check that out. It has it's got to be at least 100 plus studies in it showing that all of these things work. I've been using them in my practice for years, not necessarily having the exact research on them, just knowing that they worked, and they've worked for hundreds of years. Now we have that research. It's backed up. And so hopefully this helped. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. Just go to Instagram, go to @Stephen Cabral. check out the post, comment back, let me know how it was. And then also go to cabralsupportgroup.com. I would love you to join. I would love you to connect with our community, and I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate each and every one of your listens, and I do hope that you share this show with anyone you believe it could help. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.